Hello, everybody. So I just want to preface, you guys, remember we are going to be talking about Endgame extensively tonight. Hey, Basic. And if you have not seen it yet or you don't want to be spoiled, please, I love you, awesome humans, but bye-bye. Hey, Weapon X. Hey, Zach. Franklyn, can you say something to make sure they can hear you?
Yeah, you all let me know how my audio is for you all, if you can hear me clearly.
Hey, Kinda. Hey, Tasha. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Timberly. Thanks, Moto. You said I could hear you perfectly. So,
Cool, cool.
all right. So, like, what we're going to be doing tonight is basically we're going to be talking about Endgame. We do have some giveaways throughout the stream. I posted a video earlier. In order to win those, you guys have to comment on that video, and you have to make sure that you're subscribed to me and Franklin's channel. Thank you, Alexandra. Hey, Noel. You are most welcome, and thank you. Completely Corey did the intro. All right, Franklin, I think I'm going to let you start it off.
Okay. Well, I'm making sure I have the chat up on my phone as well,
No
too, so I
problem.
can
Take
keep
your
up with it.
time. I'm going to eat some buffalo popcorn.
You're gonna munch in people's ears.
Yeah.
Um, but really, I was gonna ask you though. I mean, of course, we can go through the movie details, but I just wanted to kind of know what was your like gut reaction, like when the movie first ended. Like, what was your thoughts?
I think my first thoughts were, wow, they really made this movie for the fans, like everybody said. Um, I had some inclination of what happened with Captain America happened with Captain America. I know people had thought that Iron Man was going to die, but I didn't think he was going to. And other than that, I mean, I was happy with it. I don't think it was the best Marvel movie out of the whole 22 of them, I think. Uh, but I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, it's funny. I was predicting, and I was like so set in my mind that okay, Cap is going to sacrifice himself. Tony Stark will retire. It ended up
Yeah.
being the other
The
way
other way
around.
around. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that definitely surprised me. But my immediate thought at the end of the movie, I was like, that was an amazing experience to wrap up so many movies. It's something that has never really been done in Hollywood before,
I know.
so
Yeah.
it's a huge achievement. At the same time, though,
Hmm.
I had to be honest with myself. As amazing as the movie was, and as all the great emotional moments and everything, I was like, this wasn't like it didn't feel as much like a cohesive movie as Infinity War did.
No, and I think Infinity War was my favorite out of the whole franchise.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that. Yeah, Infinity War was it's still an amazing movie, and I'm kind of that type too. Sometimes I like to see the villain win, so that's why I think I'm still very partial to Infinity War, but
Yeah.
Endgame just has so many amazing moments though.
I agree with you, and I loved hearing all of the people in the movie theaters reactions.
Yeah.
So like when Spider-Man came out, my movie theater went crazy. Everyone was like, I had people behind me crying. I had guys in front of me hooting. Like seeing it in the theater, like Moto, my husband and I went to the IMAX, and it was just, I mean, it was an amazing experience. I'm so glad that I got to see it the way that I did.
But I know we're gonna be jumping around some because I'll be honest, I've watched a couple of videos of people's like spoiler talk to the movie,
Mm-hmm.
and they basically just like retell the movie, which I'm like, okay, like I like to hear people's thoughts about the movie. So
Yeah,
I know we'll be kind of jumping around. I don't want to just retell the movie,
yeah, for
but
sure.
what was your favorite emotional moment?
My favorite emotional
Because there were a
moment
lot, but what do you think
was
was your favorite emotional moment?
when everyone came back and you saw Black Panther and you saw Doctor Strange and you saw all these people coming out of the portals when I thought Captain America was about to die. So like that was my most emotional moment when everyone was like, okay, maybe Captain America, because I went in thinking Captain America was gonna either die or end up with his girlfriend in the past. But when his shield broke and he was struggling, I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. They're giving him this epic fight scene because they're gonna kill him, and then that happened, and I was already in tears.
Yeah, and
So.
you know what? After with Infinity War, Captain America was definitely shortchanged. Like even before I left the theater, that was something that was in my mind. He got shortchanged in that movie.
Uh huh.
But this movie, and of course, Iron Man's still my boy. But when it comes down to it, like if you didn't already love Cap, you gotta love him by the end of this movie because for him to just stand up against before everybody else came back, he's standing up there brave, facing down Thanos' whole army. Like you,
I
you
know,
gotta
yeah.
love him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I love how he always stayed positive. I'm going to say this. I see some comments going through the stream right now. If you guys do not want to be spoiled for this, I love you. I know you want to be here, but you need to leave because we're going to be spoiled. We're going to be talking about every aspect of Endgame. So, like I said, thank you for coming. Thanks for stopping by. Say hi. Make sure that you subscribe to Franklyn's channel if you're not already. And so, yeah. All right, sorry, Franklyn. I saw some earmuff comments and some no spoiler things, so I had to reiterate.
yeah. Um, but my favorite emotional moment, and it actually kind of surprised me. It's new. It's something I knew I was like waiting to see, but it wasn't just when Spider-Man came out, but when Iron Man actually hugged Spider-Man, I was like, oh my god, like that was my most emotional moment out of the whole movie, which is it's kind of crazy to think about that because there's so many really serious emotional moments in the movie, but that was the one that did it for me.
That was a good moment, but like I said, I'm not emotionally attached to Spider-Man. Everyone gives me crap about it. Um, I every time I get something Spider-Man related, it's just like I don't get excited about it. I don't. It's just not my favorite franchise. I can't find any emotional connection. I think that the Spider-Man that it has played the Spider-Man in Infinity War and Endgame has been the best Spider-Man that we've had. Um, but again, I have no emotional connection to Spider-Man. So and you know how I feel about Iron Man. I love Iron Man, but I'm Team Cap all the way. So I mean, it was a cute moment for me and a good moment, but I felt like I didn't get teared up or feel any kind of like emotional. I feel like a terrible person, but
Well, no,
yeah.
no, I get what you're saying because
Uh-huh.
that's something I do want to address. Obviously we're going to address some things that we didn't like. Shout out to Roy though. There, he was pointing out the "on your left" line. I caught that. And there's so many wonderful callbacks in this movie. That's why I think I'm going to go ahead and see it again probably tomorrow night. Like I'm ready to go see it again. And
Oh yeah, me too.
I get paid tomorrow, so I'm not even gonna wait. I just want to go ahead and see it again. And I'm seeing it again just because I want to see it again because I love the movie. I don't plan on doing a review on my channel. It's like nobody needs to see a review of this movie. Just go see the movie, and see it again.
Yeah. I feel the same way about the last episode of Game of Thrones. I know we're talking about that now, but I had to watch it twice. But no, one of my movie theaters have $5 movie days, and you can go see any movie on that day for $5. So I'm definitely gonna go see it again.
Yeah, and yeah, I do got to point this out since you mentioned Game of Thrones. Hasn't the past week been insane for
I've died. Yeah, I'm
people?
dead.
Yeah, because it seems like to me like if you're just into nerd culture, like it's not even nerd culture at this point. It's just our culture. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's into this stuff. But Mortal Kombat 11 came out, and then Endgame came out, and you had this big episode of Game of Thrones. It has been an insane week. And then on top of that, if you're a Funko Pop collector, of course, huge releases over the past week. So
Mm-hmm.
it has been insane.
Mm-hmm. Nick, the Hawkeye Black Widow moment. Going into it, I wish I could say. Nick said the Black Widow and Hawkeye moment.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I wish I could say going into it that I didn't know what was going to happen, but I knew from the get go because they made such a big deal with Hawkeye's family at the very beginning of the movie. And like I said, I really felt like this movie was for the fans. I knew that it was going to end up being Black Widow.
String Bean, I don't know why String Bean is still here. This is such a great movie. You shouldn't be here ruining it for yourself.
Yeah, I don't want to
We,
ruin it for
we're
you.
gonna regret it, but we gotta talk. We can't hold back,
Yeah.
because we already been holding back waiting to talk about this.
Yeah.
I gotta say this. That was probably, and I've seen like from YouTube videos, a lot of fans are not happy about the situation with Black Widow, and I totally get it because despite her being in the MCU as much as she has, I just don't feel fully invested in that character.
Well, because we
She
have. Go
she
ahead.
should have had a solo movie, years
She's
ago.
going to have a solo movie now.
Obviously, it's got to be a prequel
Well, of
or some
course, it is.
alternate
It's definite.
timeline thing or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, it is a prequel, and it's in the works. If I was looking at Marvel movies to expect in the future, and I was also really frustrated with the whole Gamora thing. Like, is Gamora going to be in the next one, or is she going to be doing Avatar? Because I know that she's really happy that the director is now going to be doing Guardians of the Galaxy again, the same one that they had, I guess. And
yeah.
um,
There was kind of some, not too many, but there were a couple of loose strings at the end, and because I wondered, I was like, wait, what happened with Gamora? I
yeah,
felt like kind of unclear about what happened with Gamora and Nebula at the end.
yeah. Well, it didn't show her turn to dust or anything. It didn't give her a conclusion. Like,
Yeah,
I think that they left
I,
it, but she wasn't in the end scenes when everyone was there.
yeah, yeah. I think yeah, some things were left open intentionally, just like your boy Loki getting the
Love Loki.
Tesseract.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much they could do with Loki, and actually, I watched the video earlier, and it made such a good point. I don't know why I didn't think about it. Tom Hiddleston is going to play Loki in the series or whatever, and really, it could take place anytime because he's thousands of years old, so it doesn't matter what he looks like. So
Yeah.
they could do a prequel, or they could even do him, an alternate timeline. I mean,
Well,
there's a lot they could do with the character.
I think that they're really invested as Tom Hiddleston being Loki. So even if they have to do some age modifications, which they're great at these days, to make him look an age, they can do that too.
But yeah, like I said, though, the black getting back to Black Widow, that moment to me, it didn't work. I feel so bad for Scarlett Johansson because by the end of the movie, I think you can almost forget that. Oh yeah, she died too. I mean, they mention her, but it's like you don't feel like full on impact of it just because we haven't gotten to know the character enough. And also me, I've never bought into her supposed relationship with Bruce Banner. That's never worked for me. So
Yeah.
that didn't add anything to it.
Yeah. String Bean kind of told you what happened. Splat. That's what happens. Um, no, for what you're saying, I can see that point. Like with Black Widow for sure. Like, I is another character that I liked because I like ScarJo. So I think that because I like her, that I was a little more invested than another normal person. Like I was really like I knew it was going to happen. But I kind of got her reasoning though. Like, she didn't have a family, and these were
Mm,
her family, and she would do anything for her family. And she knew that Hawkeye had, three kids and a wife. And,
yeah,
um, you know, I think that that's exactly what should have happened.
yeah. They to a certain extent, it's kind of it could that anything involving time travel is going to have issues. That's why I've always said, like I've written some narratives. I would never deal with time travel. There's always going to be plot issues, and them not knowing that there would have to be a sacrifice before they even went there felt a little bit like a plot hole.
Oh, I can see it, but they tried to explain it the best that they could, and they worked it into the movie dialogue that it didn't feel like it was a forced explanation.
Mm.
Like, and although there were some things in the movie that I did not like. So the what they did to Thor drove me absolutely crazy. I know they did it for humor, but I mean,
You know what though? I liked it just because for one thing, the look of Thor, I think there actually has been times in the comics where it to me it just made him look more like what he basically is. He's sort of this guy that he's not really meant to go sit on a throne. And I'm so glad they took him in the direction where he finally said, okay, he's like, all this time I've been trying to be something that's not really me. And I'm like, thank you, because he's never really felt like he's meant to take Odin's place. That's just not him. So I think his look almost kind of matches his attitude, basically by in this movie. I like that they took it in that direction. The one thing I hated though, I gotta say that this is probably my least favorite moment of the movie is why did they have to stick Fortnite in there? you
I
know,
didn't catch that because I don't know anything about Fortnite.
well, I'm not a Fortnite hater, but this is my thing though. The MCU has had they've had references to things, but normally it's classic references. Like in the first Avengers movie, they had the guy in the background on the Shield ship playing Galaga, classic game.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Spider-Man references classic movies, like he referenced Star Wars, so
Hmm.
but Fortnite to me just felt too modern. I like that the MCU has like classic references, and I felt the Fortnite thing was just a little bit cheesy to me. But other than that, like I was saying though, I like that Thor realized that okay, this is not really for him. He's not really meant to be a king. He's been trying to be that, but it's not really him.
Yeah. No, I see that. Although, he it alluded to the fact that he was not going to, like, he kind of was retiring.
Mm.
Um,
Well, they were still looking. His people had. I mean, these people were still looking at him as a leader, even though he wasn't really doing anything for them.
that's true.
Yeah. But for setting Valkyrie up to lead them, I think yeah, that made a lot of sense because obviously she has so many leadership qualities to her.
Hmm.
And I liked it though, even with Thor, even though he got himself out of shape and all of that, when it came time to fight, he was no joke. Like, and I loved when he had the moments where he was using both of the weapons. That was awesome.
Oh yeah, so let's talk about that for a second because someone mentioned it in the comments
Yeah, I saw
when
that.
Captain America got Thor's hammer.
My favorite moment, no
You
doubt.
guys, I stood up in my chair and I hollered like a crazy person. And I kid you not, like, I didn't really stand up in my chair, but in my mind, I did.
Mm.
I was like cooing like a crazy human.
Yeah, that might have been the biggest reaction in the theater that I was at, and it's like, yes,
Hmm.
finally. And I love that Thor was enthusiastic about it. He's like,
Yeah,
I knew it. Like
yeah,
he was actually happy about it. That
yeah.
was so awesome.
I
And then
was, yeah, go
they
ahead.
had fun with it too. Like even when they were both using the weapons, and Thor switched, and he said,
Take the
"Here, you
baby
take
one.
the little one."
Take the little one. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
funny. I loved it. I loved Captain America's arc. I loved his progression. I agree with you. Infinity War, he kind of got whatever, but this one completely made up for it. We got some major on-screen time with just him. He had some big moments. I think it was great for Chris Evans to go out on this movie. I think this was one of the best Captain America that wasn't just Captain America, like fight scenes. And I think people who don't love Captain America had to fall in love with him in this movie.
yeah, yeah. There are so many great things that they did with him. It really made up for the lack of depth that he had in
Hmm.
Infinity War, and I kind of understand why they didn't do more with him in Infinity War, but yeah, they really made up for it. Now,
Yeah,
and again, people, you all know we're jumping all over the place. I
yeah.
gotta say though, again with the time travel thing, probably the biggest plot hole in the movie, in my opinion, was Old Man Cap showing up out of nowhere. Totally does not make sense to their rules of time travel.
Well, they tried to explain that, right?
It
Or okay,
because well, him going back and deciding to stay with Peggy, he should have been in an alternate timeline. There shouldn't have been a way that he would come back to the
so
point where they were.
I see your point, but I also watched a whole video on this about how, like, okay, so like if there are two arcs, like let's say that the one that he didn't come back starts another arc, right? But then they run parallel to one another, and then at some certain point those branches meet again. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I watched the whole thing about it. It made sense. It really kind of, I mean, it made sense to me, but it also was just people trying to understand how it could have happened the way it did.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that it's like just go with it. It's pretty much like it's sci-fi, it's fantasy. Just go with it because it's ended up being beautiful, but it doesn't quite make sense.
Hmm.
Because something else I saw earlier, it was a little quick article, and I was like, man, that's rough to think about, but it's true. I think you do have to think about it that okay, if he decides to go back and stay with Peggy, and that means in a lot of ways he's not really being true to himself because that means that all this time, as they've been growing old together, he's been ignoring a lot of horrible stuff happening.
No, but remember they said that the way that their time travel works is it doesn't change what their past was. Like that was the whole thing, right? Like that's why, you know, go watch it again. But they were talking about how just because Captain America, stayed in time, everything that happened before still happened.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. Like if but I'm saying if
No,
he's
with
back
Captain
there,
there.
say again.
With Captain America there. Like Captain America still remembered and still like that arc still exists where he did all of that.
Yeah, it's like an alternate timeline thing though, right?
I mean, from what I
But
understand
but
is
that's
you
what I'm
couldn't
saying though.
change
If
your past. You can't change your past.
Well, you can in a way, but then it creates a new timeline, though. That's what they were saying. It creates a new timeline. So it's not like you're saving your future. You're creating a new timeline. What I'm saying though, regardless of where he was in time, wherever you want to say that he was,
Mm-hmm.
it means that he ignored things going on, like Hydra taking over Shield is something that still would have had to have happened. Bucky being brainwashed is something that still would have had to have happened.
Yeah, I don't think I understand what you're saying, but I mean, I think that's the only way they could have played out the way that they thought and knew the fans wanted it to play out.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying. I get it.
yeah.
When in a way, it's something you really don't want to think about because it's like, yeah, he would have had to kind of just sit and chill while things were going on like that. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, he could have known. I mean, having the past experience, he could have known that things were going to work out regardless. Maybe even without him in a way. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's odd to think about. But we needed that moment though. We needed them to have their dance finally. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I'm glad that he didn't pass off his shield to Bucky.
That would have made no sense. It
Yeah,
honestly wouldn't have,
no.
because the world still knows Bucky as a terrorist. Like his name was never cleared.
Yeah.
And actually, that's one thing that drove me crazy about Captain America in Civil War. It's like, okay, I know why you're defending your friend. I understand that, but there's so much evidence now. Like, get his name cleared instead of just being on the run with him. Get his name cleared.
Yeah. I think they have some more work to do with Bucky.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I really like the idea of him being the White Wolf along with and helping out
Yes.
Black Panther.
Yeah.
That's cool to me.
I think we're going to see that. I'm really hope that that's I really hope that that's the way they were going.
But they're planning
I
Disney is
agree, Nick.
planning this series Falcon and Falcon and him together, which I think they might end up changing that around some. We'll see what happens with it. But they're talking about doing a series with those two together. I'd love to see those two together, but I
Yeah.
just wonder if they're going to actually stick to that name though. We'll see what happens with that. Like if Falcon is actually going to keep his name or go ahead and take on the Captain America name.
Yeah.
Like, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, it made a lot more sense to pass it along to him, and I cannot wait to see him in that costume.
Yeah, me too. Dr. Spooks, I really like Bucky's character too. I think he deserves to be a hero as well. Um, but no one can replace Steve Rogers. I'm sorry. I'm a hardcore Steve Rogers. I mean, I love Steve Rogers as Captain America, but we all knew that it was going to come, and I got Steve Rogers a lot longer than I thought I would have. I'm glad we got him through Endgame.
And as far as the next Iron Man, I know some people are debating that because people they're talking about how there are some teenagers that could become heroes, like Ant Man's daughter becomes a hero in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and what's cool, I did not realize who this was until afterwards, and people were talking about it. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't realize that the kid from Iron Man 3 was there at the funeral because I was just like, who is that guy? Why is he by himself?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
kid from Iron Man 3,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, who knows? He potentially could be a hero. I kind of doubt that, but
Yeah.
his daughter, I think, is definitely too young to take up the mantle. Really, I feel like Iron Man mantle does not need to be taken up anytime soon. I really don't think it does. Eventually, yeah, but right now,
No,
no. I think they need to leave it alone.
I think I 100% agree with you. We started with Iron Man, and I feel like us as fans of Iron, if you guys are fans of Iron Man, like I said, I like him, but I'm always Team Cap. In America, I think that we need time to breathe without an Iron Man. Like we need
Yeah,
time to, thank you, Robert Downey Jr. You did an excellent job. To me, you are Iron Man, but we need time to grieve that loss.
yeah, and they made it very clear that MCU started with him and ended with him because
Yeah.
at the end of the credits, there's no scene at the end, but they
Yeah.
do have the sound of him working the
Yeah,
cave. I think.
you
Yeah,
guys, people were crying. They're like, "What's that?" I was like, "Come on, those of you who are in here, you have to know he's pounding away on the
on the
anvil
steel.
thing."
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, which is classic. That's looks like a classic moment.
yeah.
MCU has so many classic moments now. Yeah.
I'm sure it took so long for them. I think they really thought out about like, how to play out each character's role. Oh, another moment that I really liked was the Scarlet Witch and uh who was she standing next to, because they both lost someone. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking.
Oh, she was with Hawkeye, or yeah, she was with Hawkeye. He's about at the end by the river.
Yeah.
Yeah, or lake or whatever it was.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, because he lost Black Widow. Yeah, so
I like that they've actually kept that thread going on because those two kind of had that connection in
yeah.
Avengers 2, and like
Yeah.
they had that bond. I like that, that they've
Yeah.
maintained that. And it's funny to me because you're basically talking about Hawkeye, let's be real, being one of the weaker Avengers power wise. He doesn't necessarily have power, he's just highly
Yeah.
skilled.
Yeah.
But Scarlet Witch being like very powerful, more than she even realizes. I like that they had that bond.
I
You
would
know,
love to see a movie with her. Like, I would love to see her character grow. Like, I love her character.
yeah. Yeah, her character needs to be a little bit more developed too, I think, because one thing that's always kind of driven me crazy about her is it's like, okay, are you going to have an accent or not? Like, make a choice.
Yeah.
I think she wouldn't decide to go ahead and drop it because it just wasn't working, but it still throws me off a little bit. It's like, okay, is accent or not?
I don't even notice things like that.
Yeah, but
You
I
would
tell
like
you
to
what,
see
too.
Cap return the Soul Stone. Cap returned all the stones.
Yeah, he actually took them all back,
Yeah.
which when we that's another thing. Don't think too deeply about it because
The Soul Stone.
yeah,
Yeah.
just don't think too deeply
Yeah.
about it.
Red Skull thought he was done.
Hmm. Uh, oh yeah, Scarlet Witch came back. She was yeah, real good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree, Dr. Spooks. That was awesome.
You know what though? There was one moment during that final battle, which I think that final battle alone makes it worth going to see again. But they had the woman power moment basically, where all the female characters came together, and it was one of those moments where at first I was like almost started to roll my eyes. I was like, oh, they got to do this, but then when you start seeing this character and that character and that character, and they're all lining up, I'm like, wow, like okay, this is awesome. Like
Yeah.
you know, it ended up being a really cool moment that really surprised me, and I love too. We got to see Pepper in a suit, which not exactly like the suit that she had in the comics. Not that it had to be, but yeah, it was cool to see her
Yeah.
in action and everything. I
But we
love
saw
too
the
that
Wasp too.
yeah, the
The Wasp
Wasp.
finally made it, like,
Yeah,
I
that
loved
was it's
that.
like about time. Like she's
Yeah.
finally with everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's long overdue because I mean she was one of the original Avengers in the comics.
Yeah. Sorry, Christina, for ruining him for you.
Mm. But yeah, that was it was very cool to see them all together
Yeah.
fighting.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like they did a good job of giving everybody their own little moment in the movie when they came back. Like Doctor Strange had his moment with the wall of water, and Black Panther had his moment, a couple moments, when he got the gauntlet and was trying to
Yeah,
run the gauntlet, and um, Spider Man had his moment when he was, running the gauntlet, and his moment with Tony Stark. Like, I feel like they did such a good job giving everybody their moment.
and something that they're so good at keeping track of that I don't even pay attention to is
Mm-hmm.
you know, it kind of surprises you, throws you off a little bit when you realize, like, because the characters will say certain things, you'd be like, oh, they haven't met before. Like when people were, oh, like when Tony, towards the beginning, he was like, until he's like, I thought you were a Build-A-Bear, like because he never met
Yeah,
Rocket Raccoon, and it's
yeah,
like, okay, yeah, they haven't met, and it's like that's something you don't really think about until the characters say certain things. And
yeah,
I'm like, as writers, that's got to be a challenge to keep up with all of that.
yeah, for sure. But these writers have been on this movie from day one, so they obviously had some idea of where they were going.
Yeah, and they put so much into it. That, again, that's what's amazing about the movie is to wrap up like that over 20 films is amazing to pull off.
Yeah, but they not only wrapped up 2020. I think it's 22. Is it 20 or 22? I think they
22.
wrapped up so many films, but we also wrapped up so many characters we probably won't see in standalone movies with those actors anymore.
Yeah,
Iron Man, you know, Captain America,
yeah,
Thor, you
yeah.
know.
I have no idea what the team is gonna
Hmm.
look like right now. I love to I like Gore saying as Guardians of the Galaxy. I like that that
Yeah,
mashup with the names,
yeah.
which
I,
that'll be interesting to see if they actually keep him with the team. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 could be pretty interesting.
I mean, I feel like they're gonna have to, if Gamora is not in Guardians of the Galaxy anymore, they would have to think of some other, like, like I think they're playing on Thor's and Star Lord's kind of back and forward with each other,
Yeah,
like he has with Gamora. I feel like maybe that's why they put that in there. I
yeah.
really
That's
feel
gonna
like they didn't know which direction it was going to go, so they left it open. They
yeah
may need him or they may not need him, but I think they would need one or the other.
yeah. I think
Thanks, Kelly.
those guys are great together, so that can definitely carry a movie. And you saw on the screen at the end too that he was like looking trying to find Gamora. So I think that's going to be part of the plot, like not the main part of the plot,
Yeah.
but that may figure into the plot of Volume 3. And they got to get back to the Adam Warlock thing because they set that up, so that's got to pan out. With I keep forgetting the name, but the gold people, gold color people from the second movie. Um, yeah, and they had the cocoon and everything, and yeah, Adam Warlock is going to come into it, so we'll see what happens there.
I'm still excited and where it's gonna go. Like I said, like with the Guardians of the Galaxy thing, I mean obviously we got teased with the ending of the last Guardians of the Galaxy. It feels like years and years ago now. Um, but I feel like, I don't know, I'm gonna be really sad if Gamora's not in it. And I hate the fact that it's not because they didn't want her in it, but she truly has a conflict
Mm,
with Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5.
James
So,
Cameron, goodness.
I think that, with that being said, Marvel has been so strong for Disney for the last 10 years that obviously they put so much money into this, Avatar, the whole Pandora area, obviously they want to keep building on a franchise that was popular. And as much as people had problems with Avatar, it was a very successful movie. I just don't know what they're going to do with four more of them.
Yeah, to me, it just feels like at this point, it's almost like they're being stubborn. It's like, okay, this franchise is not what you all are trying to make it out to be. Like, calm it down. But of course, they're gonna give him all kinds of, James Cameron, all this room to move around with it because, of course, it's still the top movie of all time currently, right?
Yeah.
Which I really hope Endgame overtakes it. I hope it happens.
I mean, I think
But
they're getting close, right? Like, I think, like,
well, if
it
they
was,
no, they got a way to go. They still got a way to go. But with the
no, I mean,
1.2 billion dollar opening, I mean, they're on
I
track
thought like
to pass.
yeah, comparing openings, like I mean obviously they have a ways to go, but comparing like time period, the first week, the first 2 weeks. And obviously we're sitting here talking about how we weren't talking about going to see Avatar in the theater again, but I guarantee you they're like me and you, who don't usually pay to go to the movies a lot, are already talking about going to see it again.
Yeah, repeat viewings is going to be crazy on this
Yeah.
movie. That's
Yeah.
what takes it. In order for a movie to get that high of a number, that's what it's all about. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it could totally overtake it, and I'd love to see that happen. But again, James Cameron, he's just going to have a lot of leeway to do what he wants because he has Avatar under his belt and Titanic, two of the most successful movies of all time.
Yeah. People hating on Titanic. Come on guys, you know what happens at the end. The boat sinks.
Mm. Yeah, woman didn't want to move over. Whatever.
Right, that was hilarious.
That's become such a meme now. I'm gonna say this real quick because I know some people are wondering about the giveaways. I feel like we need some more likes on the video before we even get to it, because I'm seeing the number of people that we have in here, and I'm seeing the number of likes. Something's not quite right.
Yeah, come on, you guys, give this video a thumbs up for sure.
We get some more likes on the video, we'll get to the first giveaway. And actually, what is your count? What do you see? Because I'm not sure if mine is actually updating properly.
I don't even have it up. I have a pop-out window up. Someone tell me how many likes are in the video. Someone tell me how many likes are in the video.
You know what's kind of funny too though is that
30. There's 30. 31. 24.
okay, so it may have not been there should that's likes not people, right?
Yeah. It looks like there's 26 people and 30 likes at the moment. Or 31.
Okay.
So more likes than people. I guess some people gave us a thumbs up and had to jet, so they didn't get.
And some people may have not paid attention to the title, didn't realize it's spoiled.
Thanks, Noel. Yeah. So you guys, if you want to be entered into that giveaway, remember I put up a video before this one. If one of my mods want to drop that, you have to go put the hashtag Monday Night with Katt and FM.
Okay, so we're gonna get names together from that.
Yeah, I'm just going to do a random comment from there.
Okay.
Well, we can do that with one. If you want to do something more creative with the other one, that's completely up to you.
No, that we can keep it simple, you know.
Yeah.
So how do you want to do it? Do you want to actually go ahead and draw one?
Yeah, you want to give them a minute. I think they just dropped the link. I think give them a minute to go over there if they haven't done the hashtag yet, and then.
Okay. Well, we'll give them literally a minute. Count it down.
Literally, okay. Is the time it takes me to get it in my random comment picker. Actually, which one should we give away first, Walmart or GameStop? And then I'll show them what we're giving away first.
Let's go with GameStop.
GameStop. All right, I'm going to show you the first one we're giving away, guys. It is the GameStop Civil War Captain America in his action pose. And this is courtesy of Franklyn, so you guys make sure that you guys give him some love. Please make sure that everyone in here is subscribed to him. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Yeah, the other one is just as sweet, so if you don't win the first time. All right, let me pull it up now. YouTube, random comment picker.
And of course, you all, I chose that for obvious reasons. You know, this being such a big movie for Katt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had to get Katt represented.
All right, copy link. Copied. All right. Insert.
After this giveaway, I got something I know we definitely need to discuss because I'm sure some other people want to talk about it.
Okay.
So we'll wait till after this one.
Okay, so there's 33 comments. So I'm just going to go ahead and good luck, everybody. Remember, U.S. and Canada only. So if you're not in the U.S. and you entered and you win, we're not sending it to you. Love you guys. So Teresa Lemaire, Teresa, are you in the chat? I did say you had to be here to win. And she does have the hashtag.
Okay. Give it a moment.
Yeah, she's here. Yes. Okay. So Teresa, please message me on my Instagram. It's KattD015. I'll make sure that FM gets your mailing address. Congratulations.
Peanut butter, if you don't want to be spoiled, you need to leave. This is a spoiler conversation. Now, of course, because we are pop collectors, I know one of the things that people have been talking about is what should they do for a wave two.
I think for Wave 2, in my opinion, we should get some of our big characters that weren't in Wave 1 that showed up in the movie. I
Mhm.
think there's some awesome movie moments they could make. Cap with his broken shield in front of Thanos would be amazing.
They got to do Cap with Mjolnir. I mean, him with Thor's hammer, I think is a must.
Yes, Queen Bee and Fat Thor.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
I think we need Fat Thor. We got to have Cap with Mjolnir. I think is
Yes.
important one to have.
Yes.
Um, Another one is we got to have
Yes, the
Hulk with
Hulk with the.
glasses. Professor Hulk. We need
Yeah.
that.
He reminded me of the Beast from,
Yeah,
like when he's wearing
yeah,
his. Yeah.
X Men.
Yeah, X Men. Hulk with the gauntlet. Yeah, for sure. Yes, we said Cap with the hammer. Yeah.
They could actually do. I mean, there was a couple of people that had the possession of the gauntlet. So I think for obvious reasons, Iron Man with the gauntlet would be a must. I hope I'm really hoping that with the collector core box that there's something awesome in there that could be basically a movie spoiler. I don't care at this point. People should have
Yeah.
seen it. So
Yeah.
I really hope it's something awesome because my ongoing issue with the collector core is that box too often plays it safe.
Yeah.
Um, like with Civil War, what a disappointing box. When
Hmm.
there were already so many versions of Iron Man and Cap, they gave us an Iron Man and Cap 2 pack that wasn't very different from what had already been out. So I hope with the Endgame box that they really deliver.
I agree with you. I know when they moved all of those subs boxes to like different platforms, I really miss them being like getting them in the mail because I haven't. I mean, I don't get the Disney ones very often anymore because as much as I would buy them, but I don't buy them because you have to go to the store and get them.
I agree. Pepper Potts does finally deserve a pop figure, and I don't know if they would two of her. Some people have been saying they want to see two versions of her: one where she's just casual, one where she's, of course, in her own iron suit. And in the comics, she went by the name Rescue when she was in a suit. Of course, they didn't use that in the movie, but if they just do her in the armor, I'm fine with that because I just don't know how well she would sell. Without just casual unless they had her holding the like the wreath from the end of the movie. Now that would be cool.
Yeah.
The whole thing, proof that Tony Stark has a heart. Yeah, that would be cool.
Oh, I know. And I think kind of said this like when we very first started the stream that the hashtag love you 3000. I mean, I am so glad that Iron Man and Pepper Potts got that moment. They got the family that we've been struggling them, that whole relationship arc, right? That finally
Yeah.
got in the midst of all of this sorrow and heartache. He you saw him love this little girl more than anything on the planet.
And something that's such a cool detail, I didn't think about it again, to watching some videos and because I got to give credit where credit is due. I didn't really think about it myself, but in Infinity War, he talked about the vision of having this child. He even, mentioned the name. So,
Mm-hmm.
there's this theory that because the Time Stone is part of the Gauntlet and he wielded the Gauntlet, that affected him in the past to where he saw this vision. That's why he saw this vision of having that family. I
Yeah.
think that's a really cool detail. And if you go back through Marvel movies as well, his character now it could be because of an injury that he had early in the movies where
Mm-hmm.
but he has this habit of like kind of rubbing on one of his arms as if it's hurting
Mm-hmm.
and it's the same arm that he wielded the gauntlet with. So again, that could be a detail that they were working towards. I think it's more likely from an injury though, but I just like that him as an actor was actually he did that even though a lot of people would never even notice that.
That's
But
true. I didn't notice that. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that now because I didn't notice that.
yeah, I'm telling you, like there's going to be breakdown videos with Easter eggs and just like so many details. That's going to be going on for months.
Yeah.
More and more people are going to, and I love movies like that where you can really dig into it and see all the little details that they had. And maybe even put your own, maybe you can project onto it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But just have fun with it. I like movies that are that deep.
Hmm. And Xavier, yes, actually, someone else pointed that out to me, but that is a very good thing to note. He said that, did you notice that Cap laying down with the broken shield looks like the comic covers of Captain America dying?
Yeah, and that's also, and see that this was set up before. Remember, I like that they made Avengers 2 matter more because I was never like the biggest fan of Avengers 2,
Hmm.
but they actually had some callbacks to that movie. And remember that Tony Stark had the vision of the Avengers losing, and that included Cap's broken shield.
Yep.
So I mean, if Marvel were really playing things out like that, that's insane. I love that though, but that's the way that it should be. That's where other franchises mess up. They don't take the time to really plan things out. Obviously, DC tried to follow that mold, and I don't want to get into the whole DC versus Marvel thing, but if you're going to do something like this, you really got to put in the work and plan ahead. You can't just wing it.
Yeah.
And I felt like that's what DC was doing. That they had plans and they kept switching it up. They didn't really have a solid plan. So I like now that DC is going the route of not focusing so much on connected stories. I think
Okay.
that's a better fit for them.
Okay. So I see what you're saying 100%. But, DC came a lot later to the game with movies than, we've been watching Marvel movies and we've had some bad movies. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they only have, I think that with the way that the MCU went, I think that, DC, although they have a lot of catching up to do, they still have so much growth that they can make. And I'm not including Batman, obviously, because we've had 1 million Batman movies, but, DC themselves, just like the original Spider Man wasn't from the same people that do the Marvel movies.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think it's about playing catch up, and that's their problem. I think that DC feels like they have to play catch up. They
If I
don't.
were DC, I would feel that way.
They don't though. They just can do their own thing. I mean, it's DC. They
Yeah.
don't have anything to prove there. So
I know they have some amazing characters in the DC universe that we haven't even seen yet.
and the thing is too that DC, like Marvel does it too. Obviously, they have stories that are not canon. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like they're
Yeah.
almost like Elseworlds tales.
Yeah.
And DC, to me, though, I think they have the better ones like that. So I think that this is it opens up so many opportunities for them. Like they could do a Red Sun Superman movie. That would be incredible. You know what I'm saying? Like those
Yeah.
types of stories, and like the way they're doing this Joker movie that's not obviously not fitting in with the other movies.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see from them. I think they should go that route.
Yeah. I can see that.
And of course they can still have the little crossovers because I mean, like and this is no spoiler thing, but Shazam obviously is set in the world of the other movies. I mean, you see that
Ah,
in the trailer.
I still haven't seen
That
it.
that's not a spoiler. It's in
I
the
know.
trailer.
No, I'm
They
just
let
saying
you
I
know.
still haven't seen Shazam. Like
But
I,
yeah, that's still saying that's a good movie. I mean,
yeah,
it's dead at the box office now, but I mean, it's a good movie though.
yeah. Well,
I
obviously,
think,
I feel like every movie that came out, even next week when more movies launch. Endgame is like, they are. When I went to my movie theater, it was playing in half the theaters. So
yeah, like for it to be a 3 hour movie, the number of show times they managed to work out is pretty crazy.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And that's the thing too. Like, that shows you how solid of a movie it is. That it's 3 hours, and to me, like, I didn't.
It didn't feel like three
Yeah,
hours.
it really did not feel like it. I don't think it dragged at all.
I
I've seen
wanted
some people
more.
criticize it, saying that the beginning dragged. I don't really agree with that though. I like
No,
they had to make you feel the aftermath of what happened. So I think those moments actually matter.
no,
Like even Cap
exactly.
sitting there with that like survivor group. That mattered.
No. I love that it started with Hawkeye. I love the way they started it because you see his family and then you see the devastation
Yeah.
and it brings you right back to how we felt during Infinity War. Like, and for those people that didn't take the time to go rewatch Infinity War before they watched Endgame, it brings you right back to how you felt at that time. And it was, this past week has been excruciating on our souls for people that are big, like I said, MCU fans and Game of Thrones fans. And I hate putting them together, but I'm seriously, it was such a rough week. Such a rough week.
Yeah, and I like to like the way that they showed the world being after the snap. Like the what was it, a baseball field that was just like you could tell it's not in use anymore because
Yeah,
it's
there
like
was papers and
yeah,
toilet
trash
paper.
everywhere and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, it's like how could you really enjoy it with so many people that are gone?
yeah. I have a question. So I don't know how your audience was when you when you left the theater, but I kid you not, when we were going into the theater, everyone coming out was completely silent, and we're like, why isn't anybody talking to each other? Why does everyone look like they just like lost their best friend? And then we went in, and as we were walking, none of us were saying anything, and you just don't understand it until you watch it. I could give you all the spoilers in the world, but until you watch the movie, you are just processing it all when you leave that
Yeah,
theater.
there's so much to take in because
Yeah.
you know I hope that other movie studios will take a look at what they did with Endgame because to me it's very important that with such a major movie, you look at the trailers, almost every visual in those trailers came from like the beginning of the movie, and then you had like maybe one like some hero shots from the end with them in the suits, getting ready to time travel. But for the most part, there's so much in the movie that is not in the trailers at all.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of these trailers that basically give you the whole movie from beginning to end.
We got
That
nothing.
that needs to
We
stop.
got we got nothing. We got them all walking in their suits and they gave us nothing.
Yeah, and it didn't need to. And maybe that's the problem. Some movie studios feel like they have to give you like all of that to get you into the seats. But no, it's just a trend that keeps ruining movies. And there's so many times like I watched the trailer and I'm like, I don't need to see the movie. I just saw it. I saw the abridged version.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I know more than likely you just gave all the best moments in the trailer.
Uh
Noel, I have to check that out and see what The Rock said.
Dr. Spooks, I went to go see it at 1:55 in the morning on Thursday or Friday morning. So it was, I was still awake because I'd worked on Thursday and then I went to the movie because I was going to be I didn't there was already spoilers all over the internet and I didn't want to ruin anything for myself. And but when we got home after 5 a.m. and me and my husband, we took off Friday and we just crashed until like 2.
And
Yeah, go ahead, Evan.
I probably will. Like normally, I stay up kind of late. I'm gonna try not to stay up too late tonight, just because I want to be rested. Because I really think I want to go see it again tomorrow after work.
I think I might go on Wednesday.
Yeah, I probably would go Wednesday, but I think Wednesday I got to take care of something else. I might have to ship out some packages, but
Yeah.
YouTuber life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot wait to go in and see it again and try to catch all the little details and whatnot. And I will say that. Well, let me ask you this question. Do you feel like there's anything that was missing from the movie? And I know that sounds crazy to say to some people with it being a 3-hour movie, but do you feel like there was anything that was missing that you think should have been included?
I would have liked to see more Loki, but I'm biased. I would have liked to see because obviously all of that happened before. I mean, I would have. I mean, we saw a little bit of him, right? But I would have liked to see. I would have had. I wanted more resolution with Loki's character and Gamora's character.
Hmm.
But I feel like they did everything that they could. I mean, how could they make it even longer? And I also think that they might not even know what they're doing with those characters yet. So why would
Yeah,
they tease us with something that they don't even know that's going to happen?
yeah. I think for me the one moment that was missing that I would have loved to have seen, and I understand why they didn't fit it in because there was really no smooth way to do it. But I would have loved just a moment where Tony actually saw Bucky and maybe not even like a verbal exchange, but just kind of like a nod, like you know he understands that Bucky was not in control because, of course, in the heat of the moment in Civil War, I understand, Iron Man being very upset and
Yeah,
trying to take out him, but
yeah.
having the time to process it now,
Hmm.
it would have been nice for him to acknowledge, okay, like you weren't in control. I understand that. That
Yeah,
that would have been a nice moment, but like I said, it's not really necessary. Just something I would have liked to have seen.
yeah.
I tell you though, it'll be very interesting though when this movie does. hit Blu-ray to see if there are some deleted scenes
Deleted
and what they
scenes?
are.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait. It is one that I will have to own. Like I do a lot of things. Obviously, where I have the Blu-ray and then I have the digital copy or whatever.
Mm.
I'm definitely gonna have to get that. Hopefully, it'll be a whole extra disc I can watch.
I think that shows that Hollywood's doing some good things because I went a long time without buying physical copies of movies, but I've been kind of getting back into it. Like I
Hmm.
just got a copy of Into the Spider-Verse, So and I know before that, like there was a huge gap for me getting movies, but I got some of the MCU movies because I just wanted them on Blu-ray,
Yeah, yeah,
and A Quiet Place, that's another one that I got. I made sure I got on video. There's some movies that I'm just like, I'm kind of getting back into it now.
yeah. So, I mean, I love having a library of movies. I'm weird, but obviously, I feel like when you're a collector, like that's just in your like that's just what you do. Like
Yeah.
books, obviously, pop figures, and with me, it, movies. I have two shelves double stacked of Blu-ray and DVD movies, and I think that just when that's your nature, that's your nature. There's nothing you can do about it.
Dr. Spooks, I'm right there with you. I'm a terrible night owl. I actually did not sleep last night, like at all. And I'm not exaggerating. I was literally up all night. Um, I just have that every once in a while where I do not get any sleep, but somehow I made it through the day, so that's all that matters.
I haven't seen Into the Spider-Verse yet. Sorry.
Really? Wow. You gotta
Ah,
check it out.
I mean,
It's so good. It
I
is so good.
know, but like I don't know.
And I was exhausted when I went to see it. I don't know why I was just low energy, but I still was like
Hmm.
I was sitting in a theater just shocked. I'm like, they are hitting every right note
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Sony is I don't know what to say about Sony right now. It's like it feels like they're trying to do a lot with Spider-Man without having an actual live action Spider-Man. Still feels kind of odd, but I think the Morbius movie has a chance to be something, a good standalone. We'll see what happens though.
yeah. Xavier, we usually only stay on about an hour. It's like three till now, so we'll probably not be on much longer.
Yeah, we're gonna be wrapping up soon because well, yeah, I don't know how some people stream for like a long time. I get kind of burnt, especially trying to
Yeah.
keep up with the chat and everything. It's tricky.
I do gaming streams on Wednesday that I usually just let go, but usually, it's just general people come in and leave and come in and leave. Yeah, Dr. Spooks, I think I'm waiting for some of your awesome artwork for my wall.
I'm sorry to hear that, Tasha. I know that's tough. There's a lot of people that deal with pain every day. I know. I had a rib injury from years ago that used to give me trouble every single day, and every once in a while, I think I still feel it. Yeah, I know that's tough.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, why don't we do the last giveaway since we're literally at the 2 minute mark, and then we'll have like final thoughts and talk for 5 minutes and then wrap it up.
okay, that works for me.
All right.
So you got the picture,
Yep, I'm
and
going to show you guys. This one is so cool. Congratulations to whoever wins it. So we have the Walmart exclusive Thanos in action pose. This is another one courtesy of Mr. Franklyn FM McInnis. So make sure you guys say thank you to Franklyn. Again, you will be messaging me your address on CatD015 on Instagram. Has to be US and Canada.
I know you're getting ready for the giveaway. I want to address what Nick said.
Sure.
He mentioned Drax. They feel like Drax should have got his hands on Thanos too. That's the thing though. When you have a villain that's that major, it's like so many people have a personal vendetta against him. There's no way everybody can get their hands on him.
Yeah.
And even though I love Drax, he's not a major enough character to have been like up front in the battle. So I think they did enough for people to get their parts, their moments. I
Yeah.
will say though, because I think this movie has such an insane amount of effects that even with a movie as big as that, some effects maybe don't get quite to the point where they want them. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's just me, but Groot did not look very good in this movie.
No, but Rocket did.
Yeah, Rocket, but, I think
Yeah.
it's because Rocket had so much more screen time that they
Yeah.
really invested that time into him. Whereas Groot not being in it quite as much, I feel like that he wasn't quite as polished as normal,
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved Rocket in
Yeah.
this movie.
Rocket looked great in this movie.
Yeah, he really is like has become one of my favorite characters. Like he just has so many good moments.
Yeah, I dig him. All right. Here we go. Everyone ready?
Cross your fingers, cross your toes.
Kitty Sam's World. Are you here?
What's the name again?
Kitty Sam's World.
Okay, so wait for a response.
Mm-hmm.
Look and see if there's any
Oh,
recent.
kinda. You know who that is. I just don't know if they're here.
How much time are we gonna give them to respond?
Just a minute.
Okay.
Thank you, Carrie. I don't think she's here.
So we're gonna have to do a redraw.
Yep, she's not here. All right, so we're gonna pick again. Sorry, Kitty Sam's World. She's won on my channel before, so it's okay. All right, so here we go. Good luck, everybody.
And Nick, we're gonna be wrapping up soon. I don't know, Katt, are you gonna talk about Game of Thrones on another
Nah,
stream?
nah, nah. I think yeah. Caitlin, Funko Pops and Unicorns. You were in here. Are you in here? Caitlin, you still here? I know she was here.
She may have forget.
Oh, Kitty Sam's World, you missed it. Oh,
Oh, there she goes.
Caitlin's here. All right.
Yeah, yeah, and well, since you won, I'm sending out the pop. Caitlin, just make sure I get your uh. Actually, I just realized she and I are actually doing a trade.
She
So
said she said give it to Xavier. He's in love with it. I don't know how you. Did you see that?
yeah, that's your choice. What do you think?
I'm good with it. He's been here the entire stream, so.
Okay. Well, you're gonna give him, remind him of how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, so Xavier, Caitlin wants to give it to you. So message me on my Instagram, catd015. Caitlin, that's really awesome of you. Um, and I'll get your address over to Franklyn.
Yeah, Xavier, stop trying to be humble. We got to wrap up the stream. Take the
Yeah,
pop.
take the pop. Take the pop. All right. Yeah, I think we can probably wrap it up here. I
You
mean,
wanna
we could talk
let's
about it forever.
before we wrap up though, you wanna anything you wanna give people a heads up on your channel?
So I will be doing a video game stream on Wednesday. Also, you guys, my Name That Pop is still up. I know I put it out on Friday this week, but you still only have till Thursday. And because you're here in the live, I'm going to reiterate, you guys, that a franchise is not always a movie. And that's all I'm going to say. So, other than that, you guys, I have my Road to 1,500 subscriber giveaway. I've already gotten 4 entries. I got the most awesome one today that I'm not going to show off until I get 3. I'll do them in groups of 3. You can actually already see Ava Roosters. It's right here. And then I have Firefly Gaming's ended up on my wall right there. And then Avery Corman or Ava Rooster right there. Oh, I got it mixed up. There's 2. Anyway, go watch my video. I think it's a super cool, fun giveaway idea. And remember, that prize is worth over $100.
And for me, I gotta actually go back and remind myself of the date, but I know I had a Grail giveaway that's tied to my Teespring merchandise, which I don't think I've had too many people that made sure they got a picture to me of them wearing a shirt or whatever. So it's really just like a week or so. I think it's about a week or so left on that. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the few entries that I have for that because I really do want to give somebody a grail, especially somebody that's that supportive, to support the merch. So I'll be wrapping that up soon. And then you all, as far as I actually do giveaways on a monthly basis, but I do them on my Patreon account, and you do not have to be a patron I do make them public because I have to follow their community guidelines, but I do. Um, that's where I do my main giveaways at, and the easiest way, of course, to keep up with them is to be a patron. But like I said, you don't have to be a patron to actually check those out. Um, Something else I want to do, and I got to see if there's any issues with it on YouTube or not, because I know Mortal Kombat 11. A lot of Mortal Kombat 11 videos are getting they're basically setting them to where you have to be 17 plus, to be able to see them.
Yeah.
And I don't know how like how it works with a live stream. What I'm thinking I'm gonna do, if I stream Mortal Kombat 11 at all, I'm just not gonna keep it up. It'll be the stream. Once it's done processing, I'm probably just gonna delete it because I don't want those videos. Like I don't want any videos that are mature plus, like mature rated, basically on my channel.
Hmm.
Stay there. So, but I definitely got to talk about that game because I don't think I've ever had such an immediate love hate relationship with a video game.
Hmm.
So I feel like I need to address that. I don't know when I'll do that stream. I probably won't be tomorrow, maybe not even Wednesday, but I'll find a day to do that. So that's something that people could be on the lookout for. But yeah, I think that pretty much is it. As far as things that I got coming up.
Yeah. So if you guys, like I said, if you're not subbed to Franklyn's channel, or if you want to get involved in any of those things that he was talking about, remember you don't have to be a Patreon. But if you do watch his a patron, but if you do watch his Funko News and all his other videos and appreciate that comment, go look at his merchandise. He has some great T-shirts. I think I need to send you a picture of me in your awesome sweatshirt. Although I don't want to be a part of the giveaway. And so, yeah, you guys just make sure that you show all the love and support to everyone in the community. Make sure that if you guys have channels of your own, you're looking at the people here in the stream and you show them love and support too. And that's really all I've got.
Thank you for joining us, all you awesome humans. I stole your line.
Bye, all you awesome humans. I'll see you later.